Welcome to another funky marketing show. Ivan Dimitrievich, aka Totsi, is with us as well.
Hello, people. Hello, people. How are you? The summer is finally coming. Are you ready?
Oh, I think it's here. I need something to low the temperature down, and I think it's my wife's favorite time of the year when she can sleep with the air condition on. So I think we started that yesterday. So
What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive.
exactly. Okay, so for those of you that are here for the first time, this is Funky Marketing Show when Ivan and I are talking, ranting, giving insights, sharing results about all the things related to B2B marketing. And practically, we can talk about anything. We don't care if somebody thinks that our opinions are wrong. We like to disagree with people and we like to be open and direct with everything. Sometimes I wear glasses, sometimes I don't.
There is no
Sometimes,
rules.
yeah, sometimes the cat and the dog are inside the video or on the recording. Sometimes they aren't.
You'll
But
never know.
that's what makes it interesting. So today, the idea was to continue the talk about content strategy, but we came up with something different. We gather people questions from different people, and today we are gonna go drop them on and talk about the questions. We will answer some of them. We will say some of those doesn't make sense, or we will do something differently. So who knows? Stay with us. We're gonna try to keep it, not that long, but short, simple, and super insightful. Something like that.
We'll try it.
Okay, since we named all the participants on the video, including cats, dogs, and my wife, so we can go and start with something that is really interesting. And somebody asks how to establish an agency content strategy when outbound stops working. And I can see tons of things that I can talk related to this one. But first, I like to give a counter question and to ask, like, why are you thinking about establishing an agency content strategy only when outbound stops working?
Why you
I
don't have it at the first place?
Yeah, I don't get it because the way I think about selling agency services is by not selling, by showing what you are doing, but by doing the services that you are selling. That's how I like to look at it. I mean, okay, sometimes you need to sell, sometimes you need to do the outbound, sometimes referral stops working, which is mostly how all the agencies are starting. Not all. We didn't start like that, but most of them. So my point of view is you need to start with a content strategy right from the start. It's not something that you do when something else stops. It's something that you build for the long run, and it takes time because, like, establishing trust, creating a brand, showing that you know things, proving results. It takes time to go through all those phases and to get there. And creating content for all phases of the buyer's journey, getting buyers through all those phases, all that takes time and it takes different kind of content. And outsourcing is simple. Man, you just hire a guy, you give him an email addresses, and he starts doing the outbound. And of course, it's going to stop at one point, because you are going to them and it's harder to sell that way. You are going to them. I mean, outbound sales work, cold calling still works. There's no doubt about it. Cold email still works. But it takes a bigger effort than just creating a content, talking about what you are doing, proving the expertise, and waiting for people to come and find you.
And somehow you are sooner or later you will reach some plateau. You will not will be able to create some new demand to reach to some other groups. You will not be able to change the industry, people's view. You will not be able to show your strategic narrative where it's actually good for you. And somehow people are thinking about changing the strategy or doing the strategy when things are start going bad. Well, don't do that, people. These activities can do really, really well hand in hand. So don't separate these two.
Yeah, I have no idea why people are doing that because they say, okay, uh, I have been in those situations for a long time, working in different agencies, and usually they say, we have couple of clients left, couple of clients left. We need to create more content and to get into it or start creating the content. And then they do it for a month or two. They get a couple of clients and they didn't stop.
Yeah,
That's not actually how it works. No, and a lot of those kind of agencies still focus on Facebook, still post on Facebook pages, which it doesn't work. Nobody is seeing the content on Facebook pages, and there are all kind of things related to that we can get into. But I think for now is just to ask the question: why didn't you create the content strategy
at the
even
first.
before? And yeah, so that is the counter question. Guys, feel free, those of you who are watching and listening to us live, feel free to drop your questions. We'll be happy to answer some of them. The second one: can you successfully sell on a social media platform that you don't like? Don't say this is one for you.
Well, I'm pretty sure yes. For example, to be honest, I'm not a big Facebook fan, and I'm old, and I remember the days when people start migrating from MySpace to Facebook. And to be honest, I really don't like Facebook from the early beginnings, and I'm pretty well equipped to sell on Facebook too. So yes, it's possible because we're all professionals, and sometimes we like something more. I love LinkedIn, but I will build my presence pretty successful on Twitter too or on Facebook. So yes, it's doable.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's doable. I think the best way that you can do it is to have platform that you love and that your clients or customers are using. That's heavenly solution. But sometimes it's a little bit different. You need to adjust because your customers are using specific platforms because they like the way it's being communicated on those platforms,
Of
and you
course.
need to adjust. That's it. So no
I
much
mean,
talking.
it's pretty much normal for us to diversify the effort. So we cannot just go all in on one preferred social media platform. It's not possible in long term run.
Yeah. The third one for today: creativity is overhyped. It's not as important as some other things. Is it true or is it false?
Well, creativity is important, but it's not important that much. In my opinion, consistency is probably the value I will go all in because if I'm creative in some points of time and in some campaigns and I don't have consistent effort, I will not bring too much value to my audience. So I will always prefer to be consistent and only after that to go creative in some moments. So for me, consistency is probably the value to go.
That's interesting. I don't think those two are, one against each other. I think consistency is something that's important for everybody. But creativity is the number one thing for results, for performance, for everything. Creativity is the number one thing. If you are not creative, if you cannot differentiate yourself from the others, you won't do anything. And if you're doing ads, creative is still the number one thing when it comes to the visuals and when it comes to the copy. So those elements, those creative elements, are the ones that makes your content stand out. So that's how I look at it. For me, creativity is the number one thing, and I don't think it's overhyped. And I don't think it's not as important as some. I think it's the most important thing. So for me, it's this is false that creativity is overhyped.
I don't know. I would always start first with consistent effort to provide, I don't know, unified message for my audience. And after some period of consistent efforts, adding value, building trust, I will try to be more creative. And I don't know, from my experience, it's hard to be creative and consistent all the time. Maybe I'm
Let
wrong.
me let me get you a little bit back. So did you say that when you start you are not creative and then you become creative?
I'm not focusing on creativity. I'm somehow trying to provide like consistent effort, adding value. I mean, I'm creative, but I'm not chasing creativity for all costs.
Or you are not chasing perfection? That those are different things.
Maybe I'm not chasing perfection. Let's agree on that.
Because when you start you need to be creative, you need to have different creatives, and this is what makes your brand. You know, the colors, the text, the, you know, the tagline, the message, and everything. And of course you need to be persistent with that so people can remember it. I mean, creativity doesn't mean that you change it all the time and you
Maybe
do
I'm
something
creative
new
in
all.
background doing my consistent work.
Because like just being consistent and being there and, you know, not being creative, yeah, it all depends. It doesn't mean that you are, you know, informative or not. It doesn't mean that you are educative or not. It just means that you are persistent, right? So, and there are a lot of people who create shitty content and are overly consistent. So,
They're doing creating bad content. They're doing 3 times per day across all social media
yeah,
platforms.
that's what I'm telling you. Like,
Yeah,
it's
you're right.
better to have one post that will
Nice
tell
point. Nice
something, you
point.
know.
I mean, I can name now. I can name few, but let's don't do that.
Number four, focusing on one platform or diversifying.
Yeah, we touched this problem earlier on. So I'm for diversifying the effort. So for example, I mean you're all in on LinkedIn. Yes, that's great, but somehow you will end up with sending too many messages, and you will end up out of your only and preferred platform, and you're out of the business. Don't do that, people. So diversify the efforts all the time. Diversify the efforts, or try to actually own the channels, build your own community, try to diversify. It's better for business, it's better for you in any case scenario.
Yeah, I agree on that. Try to diversify wherever is possible. And you know, like, let me give you I don't know if it's a story or whatever it is, but you know, I've been talking with people about, you know, about diversifying efforts, diversifying clients, the way, you know, clients that pay different amounts, or you know, those kind of things, income streams. But you know, and I told them, okay, I don't know, I'm focusing on LinkedIn at that time. But they told me, no, 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 you are not focused on LinkedIn. When you are publishing your content, you are distributing in all the way. You are creating audio podcast, you are creating video podcast, you are active on Twitter, no matter if I'm writing more about basketball, you know, you are active on Facebook. And I didn't see it like that. My focus on business is on LinkedIn, but I'm still distributing the content all around the place and growing other accounts. So you know, it's important to be present over there. You don't need to focus on each channel all the times, but be present on each place where your customers are. At least be present and follow what's going on over there. I can tell you that, because there was back in when it was like 2017 when Facebook uh, changed the news feed and basically removed the reach from the pages, and marketers were in panic, like how
It
can
was
we do
drama.
things, what we're gonna do, and you could easily see that things are gonna go in developing personal brands and employees of the company being the ones who will have a voice and who will actually be the biggest influencers of that company in the future. And yeah, basically for the start, I created a checklist for my team to what to do on LinkedIn and how to distribute the content. And it was back in 2017. Up until then, more and more people realize, they change their mindset on their own without their boss telling them what to do and why that's important. That doesn't work actually. So yeah, try to see things from different perspectives and try to always look at the big picture. Don't put your eggs in one basket all the time, but try to do some things differently. If you are focusing on B2B today, like LinkedIn and Twitter can work one with each other. And a lot of people who are active on LinkedIn are now active on Twitter or vice versa. But, there are some that aren't, but are not important for this. I think they just didn't use the platforms as much, Facebook or Twitter, so they can see the advantage of combining the two. But yeah, definitely. I mean, we had a situation when I was connecting with people on Twitter, and I didn't even know who they are, and sending them welcome messages, just saying hi. They told me that they're following my content, they're following what we as Funky Marketing as a team are doing, and giving us respects for that. And I didn't even know who those people are, to be honest. So it means that you have multiple eyes on your content and everything that you are doing. You just need to keep pushing and keep doing the things.
And usually these are people who are not engaging already with our content, just random people who are well aware of what we are doing. And that's the reality. LinkedIn and Twitter work like very, very well for B2B.
Yeah, and here comes the question that our friend Yag asked me recently on his podcast, waiting for that episode to drop out. Uh, what type of content is the content that you prefer? So that's an interesting one. Totsi, what's your preferred type of content?
I prefer like long form social media posts, but to be honest, I have big plans for video production in this year, this summer, and I will try to focus more on providing short daily tips under 1 minute or daily rants about different business or life related topics. So for this point, I will go with long form posts, but short video is the future, in my opinion.
Rent is what we do, rent is what we love, rent is what we live off. For me, it was always text post. I was even like when I was in primary school and in high school, I was writing hip hop songs. Even it's interesting. Like it's funny when I look back at those times, but yeah, I like to write and I like to express myself through writing. But since I was a kid, like my father was a coach, basketball coach of the team. I was the captain, and I didn't have excuse not to talk with the media from my 7 years of age. Yeah, and basically I got used to talking with media, creating videos, all those kind of things. And so I think I'm okay with any type of content, but I prefer text. So it's not like if I'm gonna do video, I'm gonna do video. I don't look at it as something hard or something that I just cannot do or something that I'll stumble upon on an obstacle or something like that. I don't care, because when you start doing some things, maybe in from the start you will be uncomfortable, but then you will get used to that, and and improve. I mean, we talked about it. If you go to the Funky Marketing Facebook page, and you can see me from 2017 creating videos from my apartment, because videos started to be big at that time, and I don't wanted to miss it. But the light in my room was bad. I had a phone which for me was okay, but obviously the camera wasn't that good. Uh, then I had a couple of kilos more, so it was all interesting. But I received the comments like, "Man, it's a good content, but you are in the dark." Like,
Nice.
so yeah, I think it's just up to you. Start with something that is comfortable to you, and then see if you can more move, and as we are already talked about, diversify in other directions. I think podcasts are really good as well, like especially when you just do the audio. I mean, I don't love my voice that much, but I like when I hear it through the microphone for some reason.
I prefer video. I love to do things.
Um, how do you consistently put out so much content? I think this is the question for both of us.
Content, content, content. As you said in as a response on previous questions, somehow we're doing all we're doing all different type of content all the time. So for us at this point it's actually easy. If I need to write the post, I will actually not overthink. I will just sit and write the post. If I need to shoot the video, I will just shoot the video. I don't need additional preparation, additional overthinking. I don't have like any concerns. I don't feel fear about my task. So I will just sit and do it. That's it. So probably the basic tip is people try to not overthink it. So start doing this and be consistent and try to do like these simple improvements. Try to analyze, watch your own video after that, read your own post, and try to find spots where you can actually improve a little bit, or I don't know, talk with your friend or colleagues who will give you like honest feedback. Where is the room for the improvement? Implement and execute. That's it.
I have a different answer, which is good, and I have two answers. First one is I create a lot of my content in batches. So ahead of time, I create a lot of posts, then I just schedule them. And the other thing is I consistently create content, and then I repurpose each piece of content many times in a different way. So articles, you can come up with so many things out of one article. Podcast as well. Like we are into this call for 25 minutes, and we already talk about five different topics. So just an example, you can do the transcription of a video and create text post out of it. You can come up with the parts that stand out, create visuals out of it. So try just to be creative and create content that you can distribute. That's it. Don't create the content that you can use just one time. There's no, uh, you know, I come from a town where people are known to be very cheap, and so we don't do things that we cannot reuse, or we don't pay more money if we don't have to. So think of your content in that way. I think that can be the solution.
Great tip, man. Great tip. So,
Um, okay, here comes something that you will like.
mm,
And it says LinkedIn increased their characters count limit on posts a lot, and what was 1,300 characters is now looking like 3,000 characters. What are your thoughts?
Uh, at the starting point, I was a little bit puzzled how things will going through all the platform, and now I'm like pretty much comfortable with new format after only 2 days. But I think my approach it will be different because I'm pretty much sure people will use. Higher character limits to put like more text to industry related posts. I will try to use it like completely different. Maybe I will try to use longer format posts, 3K long posts for personal stories to go deeper in my emotions, feelings, fears, concerns, stuff like that. And I will try to use my business post like in old format, even shorter, because as we said, we are using Twitter more and more in combination with LinkedIn. So I will try to be short and precise with business related posts and go with some personal storytelling in longer form. And I'm pretty sure people will use the platform a little bit differently.
So, additional question to that: will you change the way that you shape the post, the way you write for the personal stories? Will you change the way you format the post, or it will be the same format? Just asking because of the length of the post now.
Uh, Excellent question, because today I published like personal story around 3K characters, and I still using the same format. But after a few iterations, I will test and to see if there is a place to format post differently. But as I said, I first need to test things and to see what others are doing. So we will see. And in my opinion, LinkedIn should react accordingly with some text editor, because for this format of post, I would love to see some bold characters, italic characters, stuff like that. So I need some formatting tools to actually craft visually better posts.
Yeah, I think it won't happen. LinkedIn is moving slowly, and it's moving somehow in a wrong direction. I don't know. It always gives the solution to something that we don't need.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know. That's actually how I see it. My answer to that is okay. Sometimes I may write the longer format, the longer posts, just because I don't have to write something in the comments if I have the longer post. But anyway, I think that people will stay in a shorter format, and we are seeing that change. LinkedIn content is moving towards lower and lower number of words, of characters. Uh, I think that's why I think the connection with Twitter is big. Because of that, a lot of people are screenshotting their tweets, re-uploading them on LinkedIn, and even before, like we were all, we were all, a couple of us. I don't know if there are more people like that. One example that I can use is Dave Gerhardt, DG. He was testing things out on Twitter, and if something's good, he would post it on LinkedIn. I was doing that as well, mostly focusing on different channel. I was focusing on Facebook and testing things out, and then moving it to the LinkedIn. So we'll see, but it's definitely interesting, and some new things LinkedIn is adding. I think they are not very well done. Like we got some question. Let me find it. Is reach being impacted by creators mode? So just to continue, when we are already talking about LinkedIn, my opinion is that it isn't. There are no any relations to that. That upgrade or the feature of LinkedIn, think it's bullshit because okay, it puts your number of followers up in on your profile. Okay, that's just something that doesn't mean anything. Okay, somebody will see I have more followers, and what then? The other thing is they are putting up your, let's say, preferred topics above it, but they are showing them like hashtags, not clickable hashtags. So it makes no sense. Okay, you have now the third option is you have the option to add like a story on your profile. I don't see the point of that for LinkedIn.
And
I
you
don't
have
see any
like
point.
your primary CTA is now follow. Okay, I done that.
Yeah, we had that option a long ago.
So
So
I mean, hey, LinkedIn, really, really thank you for these magnificent options. We are now fully in creator mode and we can create our content all the time. Thank you.
yeah, and there was a question around the internet. I don't know where I saw it. I think on MJ Peters' profile in her post. Is after the creator mode, are we getting more second connections to react to our posts? I didn't activate my creator mode at the time, and I had more second and third part connections reacting to my post. So it's definitely not related to the creators mode. It's something else because it's obvious that algorithm is changing, but I think nobody knows yet in which direction is going and what is happening. There are too much, um, you know, different things going on that you can just conclude something. So wherever I see somebody talking about they know what's going on, I say it's a bullshit because they cannot know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, all trying to reverse engineering LinkedIn algorithm are more or less funny. People, correlation is not causation. Everyone who is in SEO industry, I don't know, 5, 10 years knows how things are actually working, and it's almost impossible to do like predictions like that, analyzing only few factors. Algorithm is tweaking like all the time, so just don't go out with some bold prediction because things are simply don't working that way. You will be funny in front any serious audience because for serious analysis you need more data and you don't have it simply analyzing, I don't know, 10 50 1000 profiles will not give you like any good valid point to prove.
Yeah. So when it comes to the content, going specific or going broad, I think that's the question as the first one that we get. You know how to start the content strategy when outbound stops working. I think it's the same type of content. It means why to limit yourself to one or the other. I think you need to first go with specific things. You need to narrow that down to to hammer over the pain points and to know actually what the pain points are, who are you targeting, and how are you actually helping them solve the problem. So even more specific, find those in your ICPs that are frustrated and that are burning to find out the solution for their problems. So be specific with them, and then you need to go broad and you need to be more general if you want to uh, you know if you want to change perspectives and to change people's, because you need to go more broad than what is your topic. And it in a way like you want to sell a specific object for your house, let's say. You first need to draw them the picture of the perfect house, and then narrowing down to show them why you need exactly that chair or that table or that couch, that TV, whatever it is you are selling. It's the same in B2B in tech. You need to show them the bigger picture, like the company getting somewhere, achieving something, and then you go back, do the reverse engineering, and see how you can get them over there.
I'm completely agree with this. I don't have to.
Yeah, and also what we are seeing related to the content on LinkedIn, uh, if you're focusing only on specific things related to your industry and just talk about B2B, about marketing, about sales, whatever it is that you are talking about, after a while you will be boring. And that's just a fact. That's just, I mean, okay, you can do it in a creative way, you can try something else, but if you don't get out of that topic at least once a month, uh, you will be bored. People will see all your posts as the same because it's the same topics. You're going all over the same. Maybe I'm wrong. Like
I think you're
Chris,
not wrong. That's
Chris Walker is doing that, and he's doing that good, and I admire him for that. To be honest, he's talking about specific things, just going hammering over things, not getting out of that zone, and he's managing to do it. So it's possible, but I think it's not possible for the majority of people. And I'm looking at myself. I'm somebody who has a large spectrum of interest, and I want to talk about different things. So, and whenever I post something that is, related to both my personal life, or use my personal life to, to show some examples for the business, or I post something like a couple of days ago about Jokic, or yesterday. Uh, the whole ex Yugoslavia saw the post and like, and I didn't post it because I wanted the attention. I posted it at 4 a.m. in the morning while I was watching another basketball player from Serbia doing it, and exactly at the moment when I saw that Jokic got the award. So um, I think those kind of things get a lot of attention. You had the post talking about ex Yugoslavia, about your growing up with the wars, civil war that was going on, and all those different things, bombing of Serbia. Those things got a lot of people related to the content, and that's why I think that's how you can go out of your little circle, little bubble, and get other people involved. Because if you get them involved on a general topic, and you know what you are doing related to the way you're talking about things that you are actually selling, or things that you are actually teaching, they will stick over there and keep following you because you are providing a value, insightful information, education, those kind of things.
Mm, that's true. I love to mix approach because I have like many different interests. I would love to share personal stories. I would love to talk about content, modern demand gen, revenue marketing. But I love to talk about sales, deep tech, board games, video games. Many different aspects, and all these stories are somehow are pieces of puzzle of my social media presence, and I would love to share like everything with my audience, and I would try to add some value in each of these posts, and I mean that's the right way to go.
Definitely. I mean, like, so many things are changing daily, and I don't know how we cannot not talk
Yeah,
about
yeah, yeah.
about all those things.
I
So
simply had to.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm acting as myself online and offline, so that's it. Maybe people are different, so who knows? But number 10 for today is, um, want to make content your customers actually consume? Get ready to work. If you want to stand out in a saturated feed, you need to use formats that nobody else does. I think I saw that on MJ's again profile. MJ, thank you for providing useful information and something that we can start talking about. So, Totsi, what do you think? What do you think about this? Do we uh, need to use format that nobody else does if we want to stand out in the feed?
Maybe we can use like existing format, but give interesting twist. Uh, it's hard to go with something like completely new with the new format of story or post or new type of content or completely new type of video content. But hey, let's find something interesting, but give it with some interesting twist, with some personal touch, with some unique creative feature, with the unique angle of story, with the unique personal storytelling, because we're seeing more or less similar stories done in similar manner. So if you're unique, if you are honest, I'm pretty sure your piece of content will stand out. People will recognize the effort, people will recognize added value.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. We don't need to come up with a new type of content, but we can go and modify and use our approach to the existing content. I mean, with funky marketing, this is what we are actually doing. So trying to do something, to come up with our own approach, we can, not every company can or shouldn't, create something new out of the sun, but giving, personalizing things and giving them their own approach, that's something else. That's why, we are having this podcast distributed as we are in the television, in the
For
old
example,
television. That's why we have visuals from 50s and 60s for our post. So those kind of things. I think it's important to stand out, especially when you see that everybody are doing the same things. It's important to stand out, and I think it goes okay. We are working in the creative industry, but having in mind, looking at MJ's post, she was mentioning a lot of companies that are doing great work inside the industry, industrial marketing. So in construction, all those different things like finance, those are the things where you can really stand out if you do something differently. And a lot of companies, have problems with standing out and doing something different, being the first to differentiate. It's kind of easier to stay in the crowd, and not to, not to go out on your own way, because um, wolves come, and then you are all alone. So what will you do? But on the other way, they might not come, or for some reason, they might go and and totally demolish the herd while you are on your own. So those things can happen. Uh, so you never know, but choose your own way and choose it wisely. I think in today's world, what makes more sense is to personalize and differentiate, do something on your own, than doing what everybody else are doing. At least that's my 50 cents on it. Okay, couple of more questions. Here's one really specific one. Does content marketing work on LinkedIn?
it works like a charm, but you need to you need to look at the content a little bit different. So don't try to sell it just like that. Try to add value and be persistent, be consistent, show some integrity, build some trust first. Try to actually look at this as building meaningful connections with industry leaders and other people. And when they need your services, believe me, in B2B world, they will come to you.
I agree. I mean, definitely content marketing works on LinkedIn. It works on any platform. It
Yeah.
just, if you know how to do content marketing and how to create content, how to distribute it effectively, then it works. If you don't know, then it doesn't work. Basically, it's like that. If you know the platform and you know how the platform works, if you understand your target customers, then it works. It's all about the customers. So you need to understand what works for them and then create the content. Things are simple. We are just
And
complicating
I
them.
mean, it's not the same. We are not selling, I don't know, some product, $10 product. We are selling like high-end demand generation, revenue marketing programs, service based is like it's different service, it's different product. So more people are included in this decision. Your ideal customers need to go through different pieces of content in their way to decide that they will work with you. So it's a process. So don't try to look at this in single transaction. It's a process.
So to continue on that process, LinkedIn is evolving, getting to the next level. Are hashtags the thing of a past, or they are still relevant?
Opinions about that topic are completely divided, and we see like all the time LinkedIn influencers trying to tell us how hashtags are really, really important. And in my opinion, it's total bullshit. We test it, other people are testing things all the time, and literally there is no evidence that LinkedIn hashtags are having like any significant impact on reach of your posts. That's like true. You can test it on your own and you will see.
Yeah. I mean, my opinion is that I am seeing hashtags early in the morning when, when there aren't many people on the platform and there aren't many people creating content. So this is where I'm seeing the hashtag, but only at that time. If you go and type, let's say, content strategy with hashtag or without hashtag, you will reach results with both things. So I don't think it really matters. I stopped posting them even on Twitter. I don't use them that much. Sometimes I do. I don't think people find my post because of the hashtags, even on Twitter. So I think things are changing, and just that thing that that they added hashtags as a topic in the creator mode. I don't know. It's just like they're trying to keep, nice memory of something that once worked.
Yeah. They are
Something,
defending their own useless feature. So
yeah, something like that. I mean, it's not their useless fit. There are people still adding hashtags on Facebook, especially those that are posting to Facebook over Instagram, just posting on Instagram and setting up things that the post appear on Facebook as well, and it appears then with the hashtags. And what's the point? So I don't know. I mean, I still see hashtags working on Instagram, to be
that's true.
honest,
That's true.
but it's working in a way that people are abusing them. So let's say I'm in Serbia, and there are a couple of cities in Serbia, and every city has its own hashtag. So I'm following Novi Sad, for example. I'm following Pirot, but I'm seeing like people selling shoes using hashtags for all the cities above under their photo. So I'm seeing that in my feed, or there are some like ladies doing this or that and some meaningful message, and they tag all the cities and all the hashtags, and so I'm seeing that in my feed. And I just want to see the city, pictures from the city.
But how
I
to resist? It's so easy to abuse it.
yeah, it's really easy to abuse it. Yeah, definitely. So who knows? What else can we say about the content? Those were all the questions that we had. Um, I mean, what I can say is that things are changing very fast and things are evolving, and something that works this week might not work the next week. I mean, I remember the times, it was in 2019 when I recorded from April to June. I recorded 60 videos in 60 days. Maybe it was 70 days, but it was 60 videos. Sometimes I couldn't do it, but I was seeing how the algorithm is changing, how the views are going up and down, and it's kind of interesting to see how everything is evolving. If you keep posting every day for 2 months or 3 months, you will find out some things that a lot of people don't. You will see some things that a lot of people don't see, and I would advise everybody to, whatever your strategy is, keep doing that for at least month and a half up to 3 months, and see how things are changing, if it's working or not, or you will find out why it isn't working. Talk to people, see if they can give you the feedback for your content, and those kind of things. I mean, just who's reacting to your content? Are those the people that you want them to react, and are they reacting the same way, exactly on the way that you want them to react? If not, I mean, what's the purpose of you creating the content? What do you want that content to do? Do you want it to sell? Do you want it to educate? Do you want it to inform? Or do you want it to, you know to entertain? I think that the key is in combining entertainment with education. If you ask me, I think this is where the middle is.
Winning combination.
Yeah. So for the end of this, Totsi and I will just stand up and dance. I'm just kidding. We won't.
I was
but
ready.
but that's the entertaining moment, you know. So try to have those things inside the video. So Totsi, what should be the question this week? We didn't get any questions related to the things outside of the work. So what's one interesting thing that you have done in the last week?
Let me see. Interesting.
Hmm.
Well, I'm not sure I can talk about that live.
For me, it was, I don't know. I told my wife I'm a Batman, pure serious, and because let me draw you the situation, because she's going to bed earlier, around 10, and I'm staying late to work, or sometimes I go to play 3x3 at 10 p.m., or I stay to watch NBA. So I told her, look, we need to talk seriously.
Nice.
And there is, those things that I'm telling you that I'm doing, all those three things when you go to sleep, it's actually not true. So something else is going on. She was like, what's going on? Like, I'm actually Batman.
That's
So
good
you need
storytelling in marriage.
you need to have those kind of things, in every relationship, to keep it, fresh and interesting, and to nurture all of that. And I think we forget that often when we talk with clients, when we talk with people online and everywhere. That's why we were saying the differences between being specific and going a little bit general, or a little bit more personal, or adding entertaining moment. I think those things are extremely important.
I agree
So
completely.
in the future, for those of you that you are sticking with us still until the end, we'll try to have some interesting 1 to 2 minutes videos. It won't be me dancing this time, I promise. If you didn't see that, I might repeat it. But we'll try to come up with different posts and just have a little bit different perspectives. And I think one thing that was missing in the content that we were creating is the content that when we grab the camera and just do something, talk
Rant
or
on
do
some
something.
topic.
Yeah, if I look back and like a year and a half or two ago, I was going to the local market, going through the crowd and recording myself creating a video from LinkedIn. When I look at it, I mean, oh my God, but it was something that was really cool. And that's where I started to get the traction on LinkedIn. So those are kind of the interesting things. I was waiting for the dog to join us, but it didn't happen this time.
She's sleeping. She's sleeping, and cats are outside, I think.
Okay, okay. So, okay, guys, you won't see the dog this time or hear the dog, but Totsi, I will let you give your final thoughts for this episode and finish it.
People, as we said at the beginning, the summer is coming. Go out, take your phone, shoot some cool, interesting video, enjoy the summer.
Ooh, I like that. In the we can see our summer buddies.
I mean,
like
we really need that sunny vibe.
I
It's the
mean,
time.
guys, you that are watching, not listening, you can see how white are our faces because we didn't see the sun that much, but hopefully that will change soon. Okay, summer's here and the time is right for racing in the streets, as Bruce Springsteen says. Enough for this episode. I think we talked about so many things. We ranted a lot. That was the point, actually, because this is the show.